Hello, I'm Phil.
And I'm Julia.
So we are both podiatrists and we're going to talk about plantar warts. So these guys here. So a plantar wart by definition, Julia, is a wart that is under the foot. Right, is that right?
Yes, that's
Good.
correct.
Whew, got that right. And we see them a lot because we're often looking under feet.
Yes.
Yes. Now plantar warts, why do people come to see us with these, Julia? What's the usual problem when they're coming?
Well, often they might not know what it is, and there's something painful at the bottom of the foot. You know, when they're walking along, they can feel it. So that's typically why they present to the clinic.
And we'd often find we get a lot of people that have been to their GP or tried other treatments too,
right, yes.
like because it's quite common.
Yes, tried things from the chemist and a few things themselves. Not really sure, so yeah, they'll come and see us.
Yeah, and there's one thing that I know about warts. I've been a podiatrist for quite a while now. I used to hate seeing these things because they're so hard to get rid of. They're stubborn.
Very stubborn.
Yeah. Now it's interesting to talk about why they're so stubborn. They're actually caused by a virus, right? So a virus gets into the skin and it hides there. So it's very good at evading the immune system, and that's what viruses do.
A previous podiatrist likened it to Harry Potter's invisibility cloak.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. They have an invisibility cloak. Yeah, and that is the problem. That's why they're so hard to get rid of, and that is why often with previous treatment or the more traditional treatments is they come back again and again and again. So let's talk about some of those other treatments that are available before we talk about our fancy machines that go bing. What are the treatments that do get used, Julia? An example of something.
Yeah, so a few people might have tried cryotherapy or liquid nitrogen. So essentially getting it burnt off, which can be very painful.
If you've ever had it done.
I've had it done myself.
Right, it's essentially freezing it to death,
yes.
And so other than that, what are the other options?
Also salicylic acid or nitric acid, so that's a caustic agent, so it's sort of burning it off.
Painful?
Yeah, it can be painful, and it's a long process to come in regularly. It cannot be great for the skin around it.
It's hard to sort of control it, isn't it? It's kind of like a shotgun approach. It can burn a lot of good skin as well.
Yeah, and as I've said, it's the effectiveness that's
it's the issue.
Yeah.
And you'll often get left with quite a painful wound after, particularly with some of these agents are quite aggressive, so they'll basically burn a hole in your foot. Now, we're not saying they're not treatments that can be used. But I know both of us have used these or seen them used, and they have effect. But with every treatment, there's a risk, and that is the risk of these treatments: is they can cause quite a wound, which is painful, and have to take time off work, got to do dressings, all that sort of stuff can be, particularly with the strong acids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's another treatment option that we can think of?
Surgical options. Some people do get them surgically removed. It's not one that I recommend because you have to, due to the nerves at the bottom of the feet, you have to anesthetize the whole sort of bottom of the foot, and there's potential for scar tissue around where you're digging it out. So.
And there's nothing more depressing than someone who's had a procedure, had it done, and then it comes back again. You know, to actually get every single little cell with the wart tissue in it. It's very patients don't like that at all. You know,
and obviously, if you can do something more conservative than surgery, people tend to prefer.
So that brings us to our next conversation piece, which is our Swift machine. So Swift is a treatment that we've had now for a couple of years, specifically for this one problem, for warts, treating warts. Now, I'll give you a bit of a rundown of how it works. So it actually uses microwave energy to create an immune response in the wart tissue. So whereas other treatments were either trying to kill the wart by burning it or freezing it or cutting it out, we're not doing any of those things with this. We are using a microwave or a heat energy, a radiation frequency that will heat the tissue, but it doesn't heat it to the point where it's actually burning a hole. It's not like a laser or anything like that, or even electric cautery. It's not killing the tissue. It's creating a rapid spike in temperature. And the cool thing, I get too excited about this, Julia, I'm sorry, but the cool thing about it is it causes the cells that are infected by the viral tissue to release a heat shock protein. So it's doing something to the cell that's basically scary. I'm going to use an analogy of sort of scaring the invisibility cloak off it for a moment, right? It's basically releasing something the immune system recognizes, and then it gets attention. It says, wow, there's something here. We didn't know it was here, but it's here. So your body then mounts an immune response, which can take usually a couple of months for most people to mount an effective response to a virus. Not unlike the coronavirus. Yeah, anyway. So basically that's what it's doing. Now the cool thing about it is it can be a little bit uncomfortable to do the treatment because it's going to create a raise in temperature, but it's not going to cause a burn. It doesn't actually destroy the tissue, and that little bit of a sting goes basically immediately once the treatment is done. And we have to do multiple applications, so usually depending on how high we can turn it up. The cool thing too, I don't know, we've both seen this with younger patients or people that are very nervous or sensitive, is we can dial it right down. So as long as we can get enough energy in, we can dial it down to a level that's not really causing much pain at all. So it's great for younger kids. So it's definitely our preferred treatment for younger children.
And they're quite common in young kids.
They are, aren't they? Yeah.
Also, a cool thing about it is there's that little heat shock, but it's a few, and it's only a few seconds. So we sort of put a couple of seconds of a bit of heat to the area. And as Phil's just mentioned, you cater it to how the patient tolerates it. Yeah.
And we can sort of ramp it up and get it. Basically, we can fit it around the patient's tolerance, which is why we get a lot of referrals from general practitioners who've caused young children a bit of pain with cryotherapy or other treatments. So if you're a GP or someone who sees these in your practice and you've got patients that you know haven't come back because it hurt too much, by all means send them through, because this is the main reason we bought this gadget, is because of this kind of situation. Now the good things about it, Julia, does it burn a hole in the foot? No. Do you need dressings afterwards?
No.
Is there any pain after the treatment?
No.
That sounds great. Sign me up. But yeah, it is really, really a great treatment, and that's why we love having it. Now there is good case studies and good evidence on it now, because it's been out for a few years, but just to show some befores and afters. So this is a typical mosaic presentation. So a wart that's, lots of little spots in it, and so the before and the after. So you can see that there, I believe in this case was about 2 months after. And our treatment protocol is once a month until it's gone. And for most people, it's 2 to 3 sessions, but it can take up to 4, 5 or 6 months. So it's all about getting your own body to do the work by creating an immune response. So you can't really fast forward that process. Everyone responds differently.
Yeah.
Now, there's something interesting about it too, is if you've got lots of them, some people have a really bad case, they'll have multiple ones on their feet, on their hands. If we can get an immune response in the main lesions, all the little ones will drop off as well, and that's always fun.
So if you've got quite a few, you don't have to have it on all of them necessarily to have the same effect. So, that's really cool. It
is cool. Once the body's created the correct immune response with the cells that are responsible for that virus, it goes. So if you're having problems with plantar warts, if you've got something that won't go away, you've had it for a long time and tried other treatments, sounds like the kind of thing we can help with. So by all means, get in touch and share the video too. If you've seen this and you've got friends with kids that have this problem, share it, because we would really love to help. We've got school holidays next week. So school kids,
apparently so.
Bring them in. Oh, younger kids, So school holidays coming up. So by all means, get on and book them in, because we can get the process started over the holidays and get them seen and get them feeling better. Well, thank you for watching. We'll see you all again another day.
Bye.
Bye.